Good morning, Math A Honor students. This is Miss Dangle. Sorry I can't be with you today. Today's Monday, October 18th. So if you open up your class slides for today, under day 28, you'll see what we're doing. Today's a sub day. I'll be back on Wednesday. You're going to be watching the video that I'm recording right now of lesson 2.3D, and then you're going to work on homework 2.3D and module 2 review, evens only on the module 2 review. So the first thing I need you to do is find your attendance question under October 18th in your classwork stream. So click on the attendance question and go ahead and submit that before class is over. It's due by 10 a.m. Then I want you to scroll down and I want you to find your lesson 2.3D that we're going to complete as you watch my recorded video today. So click on the lesson. You can open it up in Kami or Google Classroom app, and I'm going to work on that with you right now. So I am going to begin, and I'm going to be using my stylus. Hopefully it will work on this document. So it says 2.3D lesson, fraction operations and word problems. Number 1, we're going to be writing an expression to solve each word problem and answer the question in a complete sentence. So during the day, the temperature increases by 3.5 degrees, and at night, the temperature decreases by 7.5 degrees. What is the overall change in temperature? So an increase is thought of as a positive number. So we're going to start with 3.5. And then a decrease is thought of as a negative number. So we're going to subtract 7.5. Since these have common denominators, we can just subtract 7 minus 3 is 4. But since it is a negative 7, our answer is going to be negative 4. So this isn't temperature. We usually use the 0 for our degrees. And when we write it, we would say that the overall change is negative 4 degrees, or you could say the overall change dropped negative 4 degrees. The football team loses 4.5 yards on their first play. On the next play, they gain 2.5 yards. What is the overall increase or decrease in yards? So we have a loss is a negative number, so we have negative 4.5. And a gain is a positive, so we have positive 2.5. Again, they have the same denominators, so we can just add the rational numbers together, negative 4 and 2, and that's just negative 2. So I would say that they lost 2 yards. All right, moving on to the next one. We have Jamal is practicing tricks on a skateboard. One trick takes him forward 6 feet, and then he moves backwards 8 1/5 feet, and then he moves forward again 3 1/4 feet. Overall, how far did Jamal move and in what direction? So we have positive 6, we have a backwards as a negative 8 1/5, and then we have a forward move again as 3 1/4. So we're going to have to find common denominators for all of these fractions. So I am going to add together my whole number 6 with my positive 3 1/4 first. So I'm going to make that 9 1/4. And then I'm going to take away 8 1/5 after that. I just like adding my positives first before I have to subtract. So I'm going to find a common denominator of 20. So the first fraction I'm going to have to multiply by 5 over 5. So this becomes 9 5/20. And the second fraction I have to multiply by 4. So this will become 8 4/20. Now I can subtract the whole numbers. 9 minus 8 is 1. 5 minus 4 is 1. So this is 1 1/20 feet. So this would be moving forward. So I'm going to write forward here because I ran out of room to write a complete sentence, but forward because it's a positive number. Backwards would be a negative number. So Craig set his watch for the correct time on Monday. Exactly 1 week later, he finds that his watch has lost 3 1/4 minutes. If his watch continues to lose time at the same rate for 8 weeks, his watch will be incorrect by how many minutes after 8 weeks? So we're going to multiply a loss as, get it to right, negative 3 1/4, and we're going to multiply that by 8. So in order to multiply fractions, we have to make them improper. So I'm going to make the first fraction -3 1/4, -13/4, and I'm going to multiply that by 8 over 1. You can either cross cancel or you can just multiply straight across. I do notice that 4 goes evenly into 8 2 times, so I'm going to cross cancel my diagonals looking for common factors. So -13 times 2 would be -26, and then 1 times 1 is 1. So I would just say Craig lost 26 minutes. It's really important to label your answers, and it's important to write a complete sentence as well so you answer the question completely. All right, moving on to number 5. We have one of the running backs for the Chargers football team carried the ball 7 times for a total gain of 15 and 3/4 yards. Find his average yard per carry. So average means that we need to divide. So I'm going to take my 15 and 3/4. Let me write. There we go, 15 and 3/4, and I'm going to divide that by 7. So first, in order to divide fractions, I need to turn it into improper. So this becomes 63. Stylus is sometimes funny. And I'm going to multiply by the reciprocal, because when we divide fractions, we multiply by the reciprocal. So 7 is 7 over 1, so its reciprocal would be 1 over 7. I do notice that 7 does go into 63 evenly in my diagonal, so I'm going to cross out the 7, and I'm going to cross out the 63. I'm going to replace it with 9, and then I'll multiply straight across. 9 times 1 is 9, so I'm going to put 9 on the numerator. 4 times 1 is 4. So this would be 2 and 1/4 yards. That would be his average carry. Number 6, to avoid another plane, the captain ascended 20 over 49 miles in 7 minutes. What was the plane's average change of altitude in miles per minute? So average again is division. So I'm going to divide my 20 over 49 and divide that by 6/7. So I'm going to flip my second fraction. I'm going to multiply by the reciprocal, 7 over 6. I do notice that there's some common factors in the diagonals. For instance, 7 is divisible by itself once, 49 is divisible by 7 times. I also notice that 6 and 26 also are both divisible by 2. So if I divided 6 by 2, I could replace it with 3. And if I divided 20 by 2, I could replace it with 10. So I have 10 times 1 is 10. And 7 times 3 is 21. So the plane changed altitude by 10 over 21 miles per minute. Interesting question, but we would say the plane changed by 10 over 21 miles per minute. I think that's how you would write it. Okay, the 7th grade collected 1/2 of the cans of the school recycling bins. Mr. Nelson's class collected 1/4 of those cans. What fractions of the cans in the bin were collected by Mr. Nelson's class? So we see the word of, which means we're going to multiply. So we have 1/2 of the 1/4. This is very simple. It would just be 1/8. So it would be 1/8 of the cans were collected by Mr. Nelson's class. So 1/8 of the cans were collected, don't mind my stylist, by Mr. Oops, handwriting's not very good with that one, Mr. Nelson's class. Should probably be typing this. All right, number 8, the 8th grade teachers noticed that there was 1/5 of 1/2 gallon strawberry ice cream left. How much strawberry ice cream was left? So we're going to do 1/5 times 1/2, which is 1/10. So 1/10 of the gallons of strawberry ice cream were left. 1/10 of a gallon of strawberry ice cream. All right, let's go on to the next page. The students decided to create a tile mural with geometric shapes. 1/8 of the tiles will be triangles. 1/3 of the tiles will be painted blue. What part of this mural will be blue? So we're going to do the same thing because it is a multiplication problem. We're just going to multiply the two fractions, 1/8 and 1/3, and get 1/24. So it's 1/24 of the triangles are blue. I'm going to just draw this triangle symbol. We're blue. All right. Dylan is ordering 5 dozen donuts for his grandmother's birthday party. He wants 1/4 of the donuts to be chocolate and 1/3 of the donuts to have caramel frosting with nuts, and the rest of the donuts will have a sugar glaze. The donuts with the sugar glaze will cost 12 cents each, and the other donuts will cost 18 cents each. How much will Dylan have to pay for all of the donuts? So first of all, we have 5 dozen donuts. So if we have 5 dozen donuts, let's multiply 5 by 12. We're just going to do a regular dozen, not a baker's dozen of 13. We're just doing a regular dozen of 12. So 5 times 12 means that we have 60 total donuts. 1/4 of that 60 would be chocolate. So let's write 1/4 of 60, which is 15 donuts, would be chocolate. I'm just going to abbreviate that. And then it says that 1/3 of the donuts have caramel. So 1/3 of 60 would mean that 20 donuts are caramel. Okay, so if I add up 15 plus 20, I have 35 donuts. So 15 plus 20 is 35 donuts so far. So what's left is 25 because 60 minus 35 is 25. So 25 is left. So now what I need to do is multiply the 12 cents by what's left, the sugar glaze, and then 18 cents by all the other donuts. So I have 25, oops, we go 25 times 12 cents plus 35 times 18 cents. So 25 times 12 cents is $3 plus 35 times 18 cents is $6.30. So we have a grand total of $9.30 as our total. All right, and our very last problem says what simplified fraction is a third of the way, it's really important, a third of the way between points A and B on the number line. So we're going to do this problem in 3 steps. I'd like you to circle 3 steps on your lesson, 1, 2, and 3. So step 1, we need to find the distance between points A and B. So first step is B minus A. So we are going to first evaluate the difference between these two. So evaluate means to solve and plug in. So B is 2 1/3 and A is 1/5. So 2 1/3, we have to rewrite that as an improper fraction, which would be 7/3. Oops, that's a 3. I'm sorry, that's a 3 and this one's a 5. So hold on a second. Didn't write very well. My stylus. So I have 7/3 and 1/5 still. Now I find a common denominator. I'm going to go with 15. So the first fraction would be 25/15 minus 3/15. Wait, hold on a second. That's not correct. I apologize. Let me just erase that real quick. All right, so let me do that again. So first fraction I'm going to multiply by 5. Oh, All right. My stylus is very picky about where I write. All right, so I'm going to multiply by 5, which becomes 35 over 15. My second fraction, I'm going to multiply by 3, which becomes 3 over 15. So my answer is 32 over 15. All right, step 2, I'm going to multiply by a third of the way. So I'm going to just write multiply because it's not necessarily always going to be a third. It might be a half or it might be a fourth. So for this case, I'm just going to write multiply, oops, or multiple, sure. So I'm going to take my answer from part 1 and do 32 over 15 times 1/3, which will be 32 over 45. All right, and the very last step is to add your answer from part 2 back to step A. So I'm going to write add to A. So I'm going to take 32 45ths and add it to 1/5 because I want to go a third of the way. So I need to figure out what do I add to that to get to my new point. So I need to find a common denominator. So I will keep the first fraction, 32 over 45, but the second fraction I'm going to multiply to get a common denominator of 45. So it becomes 9 over 45, and then my answer will be 41 over 45. All right, go ahead and save your document and turn it in Google Classroom. And then in Google Classroom, you'll notice that in your class slides, it talks about what's due today and what needs to be uploaded. So due by 3:30 today is lesson 2.3C and homework 2.3C. And what's due by Wednesday is the lesson we just covered today, 2.3D, homework 2.3 all, and homework module 2 review, evens only. Here's the link for the module 2 test topics. I also posted it in Google Classroom, but our test is Wednesday, October 20th. So the review is going to help you study and prepare for the test. And the rest of the time is your wave time to work on those 2 homework assignments. If you finish early, you can save and upload those to Google Classroom. I hope you have a wonderful day, and I will see you on Wednesday for the test.